Welcome back, everybody. Great to be here with you. Of course, love being able to bring you simple steps that you can take each and every day to take control of your health for you, for your family, your loved ones, your community. If you're a practitioner, feel free to share this as well with your community to teach. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 free heart disease tests that you can do right at home. Now, of course, I have to share with you my disclaimer. This is not a medical diagnostic test. These are not medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures. What I want to do is share with you the first steps that you can take. Just like we talked about in the past, that little crease on your ear. If you have a crease, diagonal crease on your earlobe, it could actually be a sign of heart or circulatory issues. Now, is it that for everybody? No. It's not, but so much so that it's actually used even in conventional medicine now. A lot of people simply with age, because they got their ears pierced, they get a little bit of a laxity line. It's different. If you've never had your ear pierced and you still have that diagonal line, it's at least worth looking into. But what I want to do today is give you 3 different and more additional free heart disease tests to do right at home. This is basically, if you have any of these 3 signs, it's putting you at greater risk for the #1 cause of mortality, right? The #1 cause of death that unfortunately affects about 1 in every 2 people. So it's quite profound. It's the #1 cause of death. Let's go over the first one though. It is your waist to hip ratio. Now, this is so important and has been around for so long that it's often just overlooked, just because it's like a really simple test to take. But what I want you to do is get a piece of string or a floppy tape measure. That's all that you need. If you only have a piece of string, no big deal. You just wrap it around your waist, wrap it around your belly button, okay? Your navel. It's basically the widest part of your waist. You're gonna take that and then you're gonna stretch it out over a tape measure, okay? Whatever the number is. 32, 36, 40, 46, whatever the number is. Just stretch that, find it on a tape measure. If it's a floppy tape measure, even easier, just like we used to do back in personal training days, we would do measurements, right? And that's how I learned it. I literally learned it back in like 1996 when I was taking my first personal training exam. You take your waist hip ratio. Why? Because, well, let me teach you how to do the hips and I'll tell you the why. The hips stand about 3 inches apart. Then measure around the widest part of your hips. Then all you're gonna do is divide that by the waist. That's all, waist hip ratio. Here's the thing. Men, we want to have a 0.9 or less. For women, a 0.85 or less. Lower the number, the better. That's what we're looking for. Anybody with a 1 or higher has a higher chance for heart disease. Not by a little, but by a lot. The measurement goes up and up and up. But here's the thing. It also can affect gallstones, potentially cancer, and many other health issues because there's just a lot more inflammation and potential visceral-based body fat as well, which we know is not good for the cardiovascular system. So it affects everything from diabetes to blood pressure to cardiovascular risk. But today we're talking about heart disease. So it's a simple measurement that I really feel everyone should do. It's private, keep it to yourself, and then look to improve it. You can do many things. I don't want to move this into anything that I necessarily recommend, but you know what I recommend in order to be able to help you lose weight, to get fit, to really take back control of your health. But just look at that measurement. It really does matter, and it matters even more so than these next 2. So that's the first one. Get that to a healthy number for you and for your loved ones. I really think it's that important. All right. The second one is hair loss on your legs. Now, because I can already hear it, that doesn't hair loss happen because of a drop in testosterone. Doesn't hair loss happen for women as well because of a drop in estrogen? And the answer is yes. That is another reason why that may happen, okay? That is another reason. It's not the only reason, and that's why I'm not saying that it's the only one. However, it absolutely can be a sign of poor circulation. And if we have poor circulation going down to the calves, which is called, it's the gastrocnemius muscle, the gastroc. And that muscle allows that blood to be pushed back up to the heart. That's why oftentimes people with high blood pressure or kidney-based issues, and I'm going to talk about that for my third point, I might as well add it in right now, will also start to see some swelling of the lower legs and ankles. So the first point is waist to hip ratio. The second is hair loss on typically the lower legs, knees and down, so below the knees. And the third one is swelling in the lower legs, or sometimes even swelling in the wrists, hands, or clubbing of the fingers, which is basically a swelling at the end of the fingers that often turns the fingernails white, or in some cases can actually turn the fingernail into almost like not quite a half circle, but a quite arched circle. So really important to look at these factors because it could save a loved one's life. It could save a parent or grandparent's life from seeing these things as they start to occur with age. Now, keep in mind, it is an accumulation over time. But unfortunately, we're now seeing people with heart disease in their mid-30s. That would have never happened even 40, 50 years ago. That would be a great rarity and certainly not 100 years ago. So what we want to look at is that the toxicity of the environment, that is a big one. The microplastics and environmental estrogens and poor food and all these things, they play a factor. But what we want to do is be able to do as many of the right things as we can, as many times a day as we can, just to improve our overall chances. So bottom line is this: take your waist hip ratio. If that is solid, if that's a good number, less likely you're going to see the poor circulation in the hands or especially the lower leg that may lead to the swelling or the hair loss as well. So these are all signs that I look for in my practice just with a simple assessment. I want them to be able to be done in your home, for your family, for your loved ones as well. We have lots of other ways. If you're looking to take back your health, of course, you can just find those at StephenCabral.com. I won't go over those today. I want to keep it at those 3 free heart disease tests they can do right at home. Always let us know if we can help in any way. We appreciate you. We thank you for being a part of this community. And if the show was helpful, do feel free to send people along to StephenCabral.com/3142 for today's show. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.